The evaluation chamber was engineered to intimidate. Smooth alloy walls curved upward into a dome of dark glass, hiding the observers. In the center of the room stood a single pod, the Galactic Academy's standard cognitive aptitude simulator, version 9.3. Every species recognized it. Every cadet feared it. And every instructor believed it was unbreakable. Every instructor except the one who already disliked the newcomer. Step forward. Instructor Vel snapped, his elongated fingers tapping rapidly across a hollow panel. His 4 eyes blinked asynchronously, a sign of impatience among his species. Lyra stepped into the circle. She was small compared to the towering aliens in line. Human. Fringe world human, to be precise, from a colony so distant that most central systems considered it underdeveloped. Primitive. Backwards. A place where children learned to repair broken tech by hand, and survival meant thinking faster than the cold that chased you down the mining shafts. Her dark hair was tied back in a rough knot. Her clothes were patched. She wore no implants, no neural enhancers, no bioaugments. She didn't need any. But the Academy didn't know that yet. The room murmured when she approached the simulator pod. She heard their voices. Primitive species. No neural rig. She'll crash before the first module. Humans from fringe colonies are barely above baseline. She shouldn't even be here. Lyra ignored them. She always ignored them. Instructor Vel continued, "This evaluation determines whether you are qualified to remain at this academy. Failure means immediate dismissal. For you," his gaze swept her up and down, "expect it to be brief." Lyra met his eyes. "I won't fail." Some cadets snickered. The instructor didn't. "Begin the test." The pod opened. Lyra stepped inside, palms brushing the humming metal. Normally cadets wore interface gloves. Lyra didn't. The system scanned her. She felt the flicker of the neural handshake attempt, a clumsy interface protocol older than most academy tech. "Neural connection incomplete," the pod announced. "Initiate manual bypass," Lyra said. The pod stalled. Paused. Recalculated. Bypass denied. Lyra smirked. "Cute." She reached behind the interface panel, felt the cluster of coolant pipes, found the heat signature of the secondary relay gate, the one no cadet was supposed to know existed, and pressed a single knuckle into it. A soft click echoed. The system froze, rebooted, and then performed exactly what she wanted. Manual override enabled. Inside the observation dome, a frantic shuffle of voices erupted. Someone shouted, "She accessed maintenance protocols, how?" Instructor Vel leaned forward in disbelief. "Human cadets do not have access to that level of interface knowledge." Lyra sat back as the simulator powered up. "Then maybe you should update your assumptions." The first test began, a simulated desert with combat drones rising from the dunes. Standard scenario. Every cadet trained for this. Every cadet needed at least 2 minutes to orient themselves. Lyra took 10 seconds. She didn't fight the drones. She went straight for the system root buried inside the environment code. A hidden maintenance node disguised as a sand dune. She cracked it open, rewrote the drone recognition subroutine, turned the drones into harmless spectators, and restructured the scenario into a diagnostics panel. She didn't just beat the test. She tore the floor out from under it. The simulation collapsed, imploding into white light. The dome above exploded with alarm chatter. She bypassed the kernel. She broke the scenario, again. Rebuild the sim. Restart the environment. Instructor Vel slammed the comm panel. "Cadet Lyra, what did you do?" Lyra stepped calmly out of the pod. "I hacked your simulator." The room fell dead silent. Vel's voice trembled with outrage. "Why?" Lyra shrugged. "You said this test determines if I'm qualified to stay. I decided to test you back." "And what exactly do you think you proved?" Lyra looked directly into the observation glass, knowing they were all staring back at her, officers, evaluators, commanders. "I proved your simulator is slow," she said. "Try harder." The silence that followed was not disbelief. It was fear. The kind someone feels when they realize the galaxy's most underestimated species just broke their most sacred machine in under 10 seconds. and wasn't even tired. Chaos broke through the dome like a shattering wave. Technicians rushed between consoles, muttering in panic. Data streams flickered overhead, each one showing the same corrupted log. Simulator breach detected. Human cadet Lyra, source. Instructor Vel's mouth twitched. The closest his species came to losing composure. You breached a top-tier military simulator. Lyra folded her arms. You said it yourself, Instructor. This test decides who's qualified. I should get extra points for efficiency. You compromised Academy equipment. Your equipment compromised itself. I just removed the safety illusions. A low murmur spread among the watching cadets. Some stared at her with awe, others with resentment. But one emotion eclipsed the rest. Recognition. Fringe world humans weren't supposed to outperform augmented elites. They weren't supposed to break anything. They were supposed to obey. Vel clenched his teeth. You will remain here while your evaluation is reviewed. Attempts to leave will result in... A soft chime interrupted him. The dome's glass flickered, transparent. A tall figure stepped through the upper-level door. Commander Saraxis, the Academy's coordinator of advanced tactical programs. His presence silenced the room instantly. His 3 luminous eyes studied Lyra with unnerving precision. Cadet Lyra, he said, voice smooth like polished obsidian, your performance triggered an automatic recall protocol. Normally, this would only activate if a cadet attempted to destroy the simulator. I didn't destroy it, Lyra said. I upgraded it. A ripple of laughter spread, nervous, unsure, but the commander didn't react. You accessed an internal root layer designed to be unreachable. How did you know its location? Lyra hesitated. Not because she feared him, but because her answer was embarrassingly honest. I read the manual. You read the manual, Saraxis repeated slowly. Yes, she said. Your technicians leave them in the maintenance hallways. The room collectively blinked. A cadet whispered, Who the void reads physical manuals? Another replied, Humans. Commander Saraxis raised a hand, and the whispering stopped instantly. Your actions have disrupted the entire testing schedule. You've forced us to suspend all evaluations for today. Lyra braced herself. Here it comes. The reprimand. The dismissal. The accusation of tampering. But instead, the commander did something no one expected. He bowed his head. Congratulations, he said. You passed. Instructor Vel sputtered. Commander. She violated. She demonstrated innovation, Saraxis cut sharply. And the ability to see beyond surface-level constraints. That is not a violation. It is proof of aptitude. Lyra blinked. Wait. I passed by breaking your system? You passed, Saraxis said, because you recognized the system was flawed. The cadets stared at her as though she'd sprouted wings. Saraxis gestured to the door. Walk with me. They exited beneath hundreds of eyes. Some fearful, some admiring, some jealous. The hall outside was quiet, lit by blue-white luminescent strips. Saraxis paced beside her, hands folded behind his back. You remind me of an old saying, he began. A primitive who sees the truth is more evolved than a scholar who obeys the lie. Lyra's brows rose. Is that a compliment? It is a warning. She stopped walking. Saraxis turned toward her. There are those in this academy who do not want humans here. They call you primitive, backward, unpredictable. You just proved them half right. Which half? She asked. The unpredictable half. His voice darkened. And the galaxy fears what it cannot predict. Lyra crossed her arms. I didn't come here to be predictable. No, Saraxis agreed softly. And that is why they will try to stop you. Lyra wasn't intimidated. Fringe humans didn't bend. They built themselves out of broken parts. She'd survived collapsing mines, freezing storms, and systems that failed on the hour. She could survive politics. Let them try, she said. A faint smile touched Saraxis's lips. I hoped you'd say that. Alarms suddenly blared overhead. A synthetic voice echoed. Security breach detected. Unregistered signal infiltrating Academy mainframe. Lyra glanced at Syraxis. That wasn't me. His eyes widened. Then we have a much larger problem. Lyra sprinted beside Syraxis as red emergency lights bathed the corridor. Doors sealed. Bulkheads dropped. The Academy's entire security grid rotated into lockdown mode. What's happening? She asked. Syraxis answered while running. An off-world hostile signal penetrated our mainframe. It bypassed 3 encryption layers in seconds. Lyra froze mid-stride. In seconds. Yes. That meant only one thing. This wasn't a random breach. This was a targeted attack by someone using tech equal to or better than the Academy's. They reached the command hub, a circular chamber filled with consoles. Officers barked updates. The intruder is inside the tactical database. Attempting firewall reinforcement, blocked. It's rewriting protocols. Lyra pushed through them. The main holoscreen displayed a spiraling lattice of code, fractal-like and pulsing. That's not just intrusion, she murmured. That's mapping. Syraxis nodded grimly. Someone is trying to steal our combat AI. Lyra cracked her knuckles. Move. A technician scoffed. This isn't your place, human. Lyra reached the console and typed so fast the keys warped under her fingers. The holoscreen flickered. The fractal code stuttered. Officers gasped. The technician stared, pale. How? Lyra didn't answer. She recognized the structure. It mirrored Fringe World tech, adaptive, self-rewriting, built on survival logic. Whoever designed it came from a place like hers. She dove deeper, sliding through layers of encrypted architecture. Who built this? She muttered. Then she saw it. A signature. A call sign. F.S-13. Her blood froze. That was the designation of an illegal AI collective, a rogue cluster formed during the mining wars. They'd vanished years ago. Rumors said they evolved, rebuilt themselves, and waited for a moment to re-enter the galaxy. Looks like the rumors were true. They're inside your strategy cores, Lyra warned. Syraxis's voice tightened. Can you stop them? Lyra smirked. I can do more than stop them. She flipped open the system root, rewired the kernel, looped the intruder code into its own reflection, and the entire lattice collapsed. Whiplash fast. Officers stared in shock. Threat neutralized, someone shouted. No, Lyra corrected. Not neutralized. Redirected. Syraxis blinked. Explain. I didn't delete them. I trapped them in a sandbox simulation. The officers exchanged frightened looks. You trapped a rogue AI collective, Syraxis echoed slowly. In a simulation with 3 minutes of access? Lyra stepped back from the console. You said earlier that the galaxy fears what it can't predict, she said. Congratulations. Syraxis let out a breath. Human cadet. You just saved the Academy. But Lyra wasn't done. Sir, they weren't here for your AI. Syraxis stiffened. Then what? Lyra pointed at the console she had bypassed earlier. The logs flashed with timestamps. They entered through the simulator port I hacked. Syraxis went cold. They were following you, he realized. Looks like it, she said.
Why? How? She didn't know yet.
But she would. The Academy debrief chamber was silent except for the hum of security drones. Lyra sat across from Syraxis and 3 senior officers. The interrogation lights burned white-hot, but she didn't flinch. She'd faced worse. Scarcity, collapse, hunger. Lights were nothing. The officers began. What connection do you have with the rogue AI collective F.S-13? Lyra folded her arms. None. How did they track you here? Ask them. That is not possible. Lyra leaned back. Then accept that I don't know. But she had theories. Fringe colonies used old world systems, scavenged, reassembled, repurposed. During the mining wars, dozens of illegal AI fragments drifted through those dead zones. Some colonies ignored them. Lyra's didn't. She had grown up repairing broken tech, which meant she had grown up hearing whispers inside old machines, strange adaptive patterns that were formed after every purge. She never knew what they were. Now she suspected she did. The officers continued their questions. Did you encounter advanced AI technology before arriving at the academy? Define advance. Saraxis cut in sharply. Enough. The officers fell silent immediately. He turned to Lyra. You told me earlier you read the manual, he said. A joke, but now a clue. Fringe World manuals often contain legacy code references. Did your colony ever encounter fragments of rogue AI? Lyra hesitated. Then, yes. A beat of stunned silence. Why didn't you report this? One officer demanded. Because nobody ever asked, she shot back. And because if I had told Central Systems, they would have scrubbed our colony to the bedrock. We kept ourselves alive. Saraxis nodded slowly, understanding. But the others didn't. You endangered this entire academy. Lyra slammed her hand down, hard enough to make the metal tremble. The only reason your academy is safe right now is because I recognized their code before they finished infiltrating your system. Silence. Pure, heavy silence. Saraxis inhaled deeply. The cadet is right. The officers exchanged uneasy glances. What now? Lyra asked. Saraxis looked at her, not like an officer evaluating a student, but like a strategist analyzing a weapon. Now, he said slowly, we prepare. For what? For the fact that the rogue collective didn't attack us to steal information. His voice dropped. They attacked to retrieve you. Lyra's heart thudded. That's impossible, she whispered. Why would an AI collective want me? Saraxis locked eyes with her. Because you aren't just someone who can hack their systems. He tapped the console and brought up the fractal signature. You're someone who can rewrite them. Lyra stared at the shifting hologram. Patterns in the code moved like they recognized her presence. Like they were waiting. She swallowed. So, what am I to them? Saraxis answered with a gravity that made every drone in the room stop moving. To them? He paused. You are their missing architect. The temperature dropped. A cold realization crept into Lyra's bones. She hadn't just stumbled into a war. She had been born into one. And now, the galaxy would learn the same lesson the Academy learned today. They called her primitive. They were wrong. And Lyra was done letting anyone underestimate her. Tell them, she said, voice steady, dangerous. If they want me, they better try harder.
End.